Sup world, sup Zion, it's Prince Easy coming at you again once more as usual. And of course, I do have a couple slides that I want to share with you in this fine day that we're having here, right? And of course, before we get to those slides, I want to issue a fair use disclaimer, right, for all the copywritten material that's going to be shared in this here video, right? And of course, without wasting time, let's dive into it, right? As the week ends, right? Well, I don't know, maybe they should do it, right? These are like Chinese spy equipment and stuff, right? They should be coupled. Well, we almost thought this would happen to Chad, but of course, I don't think it's a good idea to go around black people or melanated people and calling them chimpanzees. Is very good for your health. Okay. Well, of course, talk about that continuity, that cultural continuity we had a conversation about the other day. It seems that they have another one. Well, the US thought it was, I don't know, advisable or even preferable to sanction one of our officers here in Tanzania. Targeted, of course, directed by the opposition party in Tanzania. Right, these stories write themselves, to say the least, you know. Well, we didn't hear about this in the media, so I guess it did not happen. Okay. Well, these two peas in a pod. From what I hear, the US has approved the sales of weapons to Ukraine. Well, that whole situation, here's how I view it, right? They obviously want to end Russia as we know it, to plunder it to the fullest. And of course, like I said in yesterday's description, Ukraine is like the one to take that, it's like a shield, right? It's like a shield. The shield takes the heat. So you have to go through the shield, right? And if there were to be attacks outside of Ukraine, then they have to be big and to utterly destroy the target. Not pepper it, no, utterly destroy it. But the war, I think, should continue in Ukraine. Right now, there has been a lot of rhetoric, right? And of course, a lot of opinions, pertaining to how things should go as of now, right? And having many predictions of how it could possibly end up, but the way it is, it's working fine. That's why they are eager for change of approach from their perspective, right? So one side, the US is saying this, the EU and NATO, which is just the same thing, are saying this. But again, the victories are not in the battlefront alone, right? These people's economies is spiraling out of control. So why should we stop them right? By stimulating their military industrial complex, right? All of these companies that went into manufacturing of civilian goods are now talking about going back to manufacture weaponry by just one way to siphon money. But they have shown themselves to be a joke at this point. Right? Yeah, they're a joke. You just need to continue to liberate more and more cities. Right? People think that it would be like on COVID times, where you give up your dead to be buried by people without respect or integrity for that matter. And this is what happens. Black people cannot rule themselves because they don't have the brains and the mental capacity to govern a society. Give them guns, they will kill themselves. Give them power, they will steal all the government money. Give them independence and democracy, they will use it to promote tribalism, ethnicity, bigotry, hatred, killing, and wars. Wow. That's like next level of projection. And besides, why would you give them weapons? Our societies were fine before you came in, right? And started putting your peepees everywhere, reproducing your filth. Today, Tuesday, Treasury Office of Foreign Asset Control is taking action against 4 individuals associated with the pro-Hamas flotilla organized by the U.S. designated Popular Conference for Palestinians Abroad that is attempting to access Gaza in support of Hamas. OFAC is also taking action against the key actors operating within Hamas-aligned Muslim Brotherhood network. Hamas relies on diverse web of international partners to expand its malign political influence, facilitate violence, terrorism activity, and undermine international efforts to achieve lasting. Again, these people seems to be like professionals of projecting. Like it's crazy, right? So these people are aware and they recognize exactly what they're doing and the impact of what they're doing, because this is straight up admission. This is straight up admission, right? This is straight up admission. So what do they do after facing the facts of what they're doing and the impacts of what they're doing? They project their sins and I don't know, somehow wash themselves of it. Like it's it's crazy work, right? So the flotillas, all of them are pro-Hamas. This is what they are saying. This is why they are not feeding the Palestinian people. It's because of pro-Hamas. Yeah, society now knows, right? The least group of people, the least amount of, like literally, the tiniest population of these European tribes are wreaking havoc all over the world, and we are just sitting here looking at you confused. Like, what's wrong with you? Right? And people have been for a long time, thinking like, what should we do to you? Like, are you out of your minds? Like, we Africans just looking at you, Arabs just looking at you, Chinese and all of their neighbors just looking at you weird. Like, what's wrong with you people? This is not normal behavior, right? And it shows that you really never had a strong civilization. If this is how you behaved, how can you create a civilization? Like, okay, let's be honest. How? Because this is not sustainable. It shows your inexperience. And people who have had long civilizations, it's like in our DNA, like we know what is not good and what is good. But you, it seems that you have not learned at all what is good for you and what is not, and what is good for others and what is not. You cannot keep on projecting like this, Besant. This is the Treasury Secretary, right? You're a joke. Like, seriously. Another joke. You have been caught lying again. It's exhausting, right? It's exhausting. And people are going to reach that point where they're going to not trust anything that comes out of your mouth, even if it's the truth. It did not happen because the media did not talk about it, because they do not need any, form of special protection, right, as a discriminated minority. Or what? Am I being anti-Semitic or something? Yeah, of course. It was obvious. Like, who in his right mind, right? Who is in, especially a European, in their right minds, take out a camera, going around, calling melanated people, African people, chimpanzees. He was literally just there to cause a provocation. Right? And they're pushing and pushing and pushing, and I'm glad at least, like our brothers over there, and they have woken up to the rules that maybe they are trying to provoke us into something so as they can do something, right? But at this point, they're just, the bail was set to about 2 million or something. I heard it was paid for, right? On top of the phone calls that were leaked and all of this. This is how race wars start. This is how they start, right? These supremacists, they believe themselves to be superior, but yet so insecure that they have to walk around telling people that they're the greatest and so on. Again, haven't learned anything. This is another funny case. After he was threatened for his visas to be cancelled and all of that, he thought that it was a democratic system, that people got in and were voted for fairly. No, that world does not exist outside of your imagination. And this is not a new phenomenon. It has always been like this. Okay, like I said, the world is not getting worse. it has been like this. The difference is that all of those things that were done in secret are now operating out in the public. This is not a first. This type of extortion or gang pressing that is happening for the sake of power. And if people quit this organization like a disease, right, they're gonna try to infect another one, right? Any other organization that they form to just tear away from your nonsense, you're gonna infect it also and bring in your filth over there, right? And pretending to be righteous and all, right? Crazy work here, brothers and sisters. So that's a general overview, right, of the uncertain times that we have, right? I just personally just call this reality, and people just waking up to that reality and panicking and throwing a fit and all of this. Still understanding, right? Understanding. So yeah, buckle up. This is the so-called apocalypse, as they call it, right? The revealing, right? The revealing, right, of the underbelly of society, right, as it's being unraveled at the same time in a spectacular fashion. Let's just say that. Right? Yesterday I had a really particular and peculiar dream, It had a theme though. 2 dreams. Right? And a world leader was in this dream. Of course, there's no point in mentioning. But the other particular thing that happened was the pokey thing, right? Not on the shoulder, but rather between your index and thumb, right? Yeah, they're gonna start inserting stuff over there. In this particular dream, it was so real. It was so real. So yeah, the marking, as they say. And again, no violation of free will is gonna occur. And this is the beauty of this thing. No violation of free will is gonna occur. So what is gonna occur? Well, we are gonna see, aren't we? So yeah, I just thought I should share that particular dream. But anyway, I'm gonna put a pin on it right there, and of course, we're gonna hear from each other when we hear from each other. Prince Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.